Welcome to 734 Games, and here's some gameplay of a game that you should have played years ago, but you probably didn't. And that game is Remember Me by a studio named Dontnod. Dontnod is known for Life is Strange and Vampire. Now, I did videos on Vampire, and actually did some videos on Life is Strange. The one thing about Dontnod is they are really story-heavy games, and I really enjoy that about them. Although Vampire in this game we're pretty heavy on the combat, but I still, if you're a fan of their games, if you're a fan of Life is Strange, then you will definitely like Remember Me. It's definitely a game worth picking up. You can get it on the PC right now. You can't really get it on anywhere else.
After our boat sank, I was the only refugee to reach the shore. I held my husband's hand until the very last second. I can still feel the nails of his fingers sticking into mine, you know?
The first night he said to me, "Let's share our memories." I remember I was sort of afraid, but then he smiled and we hit the switch together, and then I felt everything. For the first time, I was living all of his love for me. It felt so warm and so strong that it almost hurt. For the last 3 years, every day has been our first day.
The weather was so hot that day. The streets stank of this awful smell of burning plastic. I walked with the other children across town until we were outside of Paris. No one fired. The war was over. I don't know if I'll ever find the courage to give these memories to my son, but I'm relieved to know that they are all safe and secure.
Thanks to my Sen-Sen, I choose to remember every defining moment of my life. Good ones and the bad. Thanks to my Sen-Sen, my husband lives on. Here and here.
As of now, Dontnod Studios is working on a game called Tell Me Why. They're putting that game out episodically with Microsoft, and I mean, it looks like an interesting game. It's kind of a step away from the action. It's like every other game they do is an action game. Because before they did that, they did Vampire, and then before Vampire, they did Life is Strange 2, and then I guess they did Life is Strange back to back, the two Life is Strange games. But I think it's because those games were so popular. But anyway, this game, you can. This is an Unreal 3 engine game, and most of their games are done with the Unreal Engine. Like the new games, Vampire, and the last one are Unreal Engine 4. And Tell Me Why, they're both Unreal Engine 4. I don't think they've upgraded to Unreal Engine 5 yet, but I'm sure they will in the future, probably when they finish that title. They are definitely a studio worth following.
Host memory wiped. Sen-Sen awaiting new memorial content.
Good day. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What is your name?
Nilin.
What year? What did you say?
Nilin.
Damn. Now that's a first. Not to worry. We'll scrape away those last memories. What year is it?
I don't know.
It's 2084. Do you know where you are?
No.
Not so resistant after all. Thank you for your cooperation. Dr. Quaid.
Yes.
This subject is displaying some resistance.
Complete the substitution protocols, then send her to me. I'll erase the last barriers myself.
Yes, Doctor.
Good day. Raise your head, please. Thank you. Now stand up. Please follow the orange line to your next assignment.
Where the hell?
Now, one thing that's really cool about Unreal Engine 3 games is you can tweak the settings from the inside. Like, a lot of these games back then were locked at like 720p on the inside. I mean, you could blow up the resolution on your monitor and in the game, but if you really wanted to see the game natively at a higher resolution, you had to unlock it. Now, what you're seeing here is 1440p because basically, for some reason, Shadowplay, that's what we recorded it as 1440p. I put this game on my monitor. I went in and I went into the Unreal 3 folder and I upped the frame rates a little bit, and I made sure that it was set to where it would go up to 4K. I'll leave a little link basically in the description where you can do that. Where you can do that. The game is actually a really graphic game and it's really beautiful. So you definitely need to do that if you play this game.
Please stand in line and wait for your turn before sitting down on the chair. Move forward.
Nilin, can you hear me?
Yes.
They're about to wipe your brain, Nilin. Don't let them do it. I need to create a diversion. Be ready to move when I say.
Who are you?
I'm the voice you have to listen to if you want to live.
Don't leave me alone.
Please stand in line and wait for your turn before sitting down on the chair.
Network anomaly. Temporary quarantine established. Thank you for your
Please stay in
patience.
line.
That got their attention. Nilin, the large metal shutter is going to raise on your left. If you understood me, move your head. I'm linked to your sensen. I'll feel it. The door. Go under it. Now.
One thing I have to say about Remember Me is that the imagery in this game is really awesome. In playing the game, you just wonder how much of this game is in the mind of the main character, what's her hallucinations, because it's pretty weird because her memories have been altered, and her mind has been altered. Now, like I was saying, this game, obviously I'm pretty sure this game wasn't quite popular enough to get on the backwards compatibility list. So if you're an Xbox gamer and you want to see this game on the backwards compatibility list, maybe you should talk to Microsoft about that, or write Microsoft in a little forum they have for that. And that's about all you can do as a fan.
Unattended patient in restricted area. Coercive unit deployed.
The passage on your right. Take it. Get up. You've got to keep going.
If you enjoy my content, you can watch it on BitTube TV, Odyssey, or YouTube. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. It's really cool to have you guys do that on BitTube or Odyssey. Thank you.
You're almost there. Slide into a casket. Quickly.
Please let this be a nightmare.
things I really enjoyed most about this game was the music and actually the voice acting. I mean, the presentation of this game was excellent, and it was just one of those games that really stood out to me. And it's relatively indie, even though it's published by Capcom. Dontnod is an independent developer, and I really enjoy the work that they put out. I hope they continue this caliber of quality.
Nilin, are you okay?
No, I need to get out of here. Get me out of here now!
Calm down. My name is Edge. You have to trust me, sis.
I just did, bro, and now I am trapped in a coffin!
I must prepare you for what is waiting outside. The enemy is Memorize, a corporation that has digitized and commoditized memories. They call it Sen technology, and the world is addicted to it. You follow.
Yes.
You were a memory hunter, Nilin, the best. Other hunters merely pillage memories, but you can remix them. And above all, you are an errorist, just like me.
Why did they do this to me?
You were a revolutionary fighter, and my best agent. We all fought to assure that no firm might build a monopoly on all human memories. But I failed. We were rounded up and imprisoned.
Oh, this is all very interesting, but I really have to get out of this coffin now!
The currents are going to take you to Slum 404. Once you've landed, I'll tell you my plan.
Now, if you're somebody who doesn't like to play your games on PC, this game came out originally on the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and of course, Windows PC. And of course, this game is not backwards compatible with the new Xbox. So if you want to play this game and maybe you don't like playing on PC, you can go out and pick up an older console and play this game. I would say it's probably worth, maybe because the older consoles, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are not that expensive. So I'm sure they're pretty cheap, so it wouldn't cost you that much.
Listen, Johnny is crying. Brother, alive? Mine first thief. Mine first thief. Look. I knew us. Pain is shared now. Fear is lost now. I knew us. Tears and grins. Lost. Look! Lost. I knew us! Pain is shared now. Dark pain is lost now. Been searching a long time now. Fear. Fear. Lost. Lost. Tears and grins. Sister? Meet.
How about friend? I'm not part of your tribe. Is that it? I don't want to fight you.
You're gonna have to, Nilin. These guys will kill you. Use your presence.
Now, if you can't tell, this game was actually made in France, and you look at the way the characters moved around and just how they did the production, it kind of felt like they had stage actors that they mocapped, and they had them obviously act in this game, and it just has this feel of a stage presentation, and I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't look like most modern games, and even the combat's a little clunky compared to games like Arkham City, but it's still a great game, and definitely a lot here to enjoy.
Leapers. Miserable cast-offs left to rot in the depths of Neo-Paris.
Miserable. Monstrous, more like.
They are the abandoned children of our Sen age. Simply humans like you or I, but cast as shadows of our shame. Something we are meant to fear. Another justification for the errorist cause.
Who's there?
Now, if you're a PC gamer who's looking for a game to scratch this cyberpunk heavy dystopian itch, this is definitely one of those games you pick up. It's not an open world game, so it's a little linear, but the world was still very immersive.
Okay, you need to get out of here. Go find Headache Tommy. I told him you were back in the game.
Who?
He runs a bar at the top of Slum 404. Start by climbing out of this dump, and I'll give you directions as and when.
Right now, Remember Me is $29, $29.99 on Steam, and that's the only place you can really currently get this game. The game is pretty much favorable reviews, and if you want to play with any controller, it says full controller support. I've never tried playing this game with a PlayStation 4 or PS3 controller. I've always used the Xbox controller on my PC, but the game plays well with the Xbox controller, and I haven't heard anybody complain about mouse and keyboard, although I haven't really tried playing this game with mouse and keyboard, so I don't know. I don't really, with games like this, I usually don't play them with a mouse and keyboard. I like to use the controller. That's just me.
Edge. Who is this Tommy guy?
Tommy was your closest friend. A former memory hunter who's still faithful to our cause. His bar is in a cargo hull over the canal locks in Slum 404. The Leaking Brain. You can't miss it.
Later on in the game, a big mechanic of this game is actually going to be remixing the memories of some of your enemies or some people that you need, NPCs throughout the game, because maybe you'll need information from them. So I mean, that's a really cool, interesting aesthetic to this game. It's a nice mechanic of this game.
Served all day at the Leaking Brain. Today's specials: crunchy crab cake a la Tommy and sewer shrimps in slum sauce.
Now, while the memory mixing in this game is a big mechanic in this game, to me the real star of this game is the action-adventure aspects of this game. This game at its best parts, I mean, like I said, the memory mixing is really cool and everything, but the best parts about this game remind me of Tomb Raider. It reminds me of the running and the puzzle platforming, and that's just one thing I really like about this game. But it's funny because you have a world that's supposed to look like a big city, and you have all these puzzle platforming areas, but it doesn't take you out of the world. It's like so many games where they try to do that, where they try to make puzzles in regular spaces. It kind of takes you out because if you want to get somewhere in a city, you just kind of walk down the street. In this game, it doesn't take you out of the world. You actually feel like it actually feels like you're in this world, and they do a really good job of just making an immersive game here. And that's one thing I think that Dontnod, I think that a lot of developers or publishers, when they saw this is the game that kind of put them out there. I mean, it may not have been the game that put them on the map. It wasn't the hit that Life is Strange was, but I do think it was the game that a lot of the big publishers saw and they said, wow, this is really good. This developer is very talented. And I think most of you probably out there, you're not blind. You can obviously see that this developer put a lot of work into this game. And this is a game, even when it fails in certain areas, it triumphs in others. And I mean, like I said, for a new game, like if you were comparing it to an action game of today, the combat would be a little clunky. But other than that, there's really not much to dislike in this game. So this is definitely a game you should check out. It's just one of those games that kind of fell by the wayside, and that's unfortunate. I mean, a sequel to this game would be awesome, especially today with the new mechanics. I could see this game on the Unreal 5 engine with the ray tracing. Man, this game would be beautiful. Now, off the subject of Remember Me, there are so many streaming services out there today. I was looking at my Roku TV, and if you have Roku, they have the Roku channels. And I guess Kevin Hart has a show called Die Hard on there. It's pretty funny. It's basically Kevin Hart wants to be taken seriously as an action star and is tired of playing the sidekick that says, "Oh hell no." It's pretty funny. John Travolta's kind of plays the heavy in this, and it's a comedy series on the Roku channel. I thought it was pretty funny. Superman and Lois just came back. Now, I heard a lot of people didn't watch that on broadcast, but I mean, most people watch streaming these days anyway, but I guess the viewership dropped off, and that's too bad because that's actually a good game. Good game. Why did I say game? That's actually a good show. The production values are really good. They do a pretty good job. I guess I'm thinking that HBO has a hand in it making that show because it doesn't look like the other CW shows. Like if you look at Supergirl, which they replaced it for during a hiatus, Supergirl looks like a high school CGI project. I mean, compared to Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois is almost movie budget, and I would just recommend watching that series because there's not a lot of good stuff coming out, as far as superhero shows recently. I mean, you got the CW stuff, and then you got the Disney Plus stuff, and Disney Plus kind of sucks too. I mean, Disney Plus, that Captain America Winter Soldier, or excuse me, not Captain America, that Falcon and Winter Soldier show bored the crap out of me. I just could not stand that show. And then obviously WandaVision, they really screwed up the ending of that show. I mean, that show started out well, but I guess they were, they just had to ruin it. That's Disney. It seems CW is like that too. They put Superman and Lois on hiatus. Some people didn't come back, but I'm hoping that the crowd does come back and watches that show. Definitely watch that show. And if you got a Roku TV, Die Hard is pretty cool. I guess if you to watch Die Hard, you could probably take to the high seas and watch that one. But I can't tell you to do that. I mean, it's a funny show, and it's kind of a micro show. I mean, each episode's like 10 minutes, and they're like 10 episodes. But what you do is what you do. Now back on to Remember Me 2. It would be cool if Don and I had finished Tell Me Why, and then started working on Remember Me 2 with the Unreal 5 engine. I hope maybe Microsoft would, publish it for them. Only thing is this game was published by Capcom. Now they don't publish for Capcom anymore. They went to Square Enix for a while, and then now they're at Microsoft. So who knows what their, what their licenses are about, and maybe Capcom may own a piece of Remember Me, and maybe they can't do it for Microsoft. And that would be unfortunate because this is a pretty cool game, and I just like everything about it. The character design, everything is awesome, and I like the heroine. But instead of Laura Croft as the female heroine, it looks like they got like a Naomi Rapace from like the girl with the dragon tattoo. That's what the main character kind of reminds me of. She looks just like her. If they ever did a movie adaptation of this game, she would definitely be a shoo-in for the main character in this game. The amazing thing about France is that France is not known for its video games, but there's a lot of good games that I've enjoyed out of France, like the early Assassin's Creed games, this game, and a couple other RPGs, like Bound by Flame from Spiders, and that's pretty. I mean, there's been a couple others. I like the Styx series, but they're not known for their video games, but the games they make I actually really enjoy. Styx is a really cool series. You want to check that out? Although I think they do that in collaboration with other studios.
Me? Run! Run! Punish! Give me your face! Your face! I've lost face! Bad child! I lied! The flies are eating me!
Now, obviously, throughout Remember Me, you're going to be facing boss battles, and you're going to be facing a lot of other enemies. Now, as you beat these enemies, you're going to level up. There is a leveling tree in this game, and back when this game was made is when action games started having leveling trees, sort of like RPGs, or light versions of their RPG counterparts. Or RPGs being role-playing games, if you don't know what that is. Role-playing games like, say, Dragon Age, or any other role-playing game, or Baldur's Gate or whatever. Anyway, this game is no exception to that. All the games this game came out around 2013, when a lot of the action games were blending, things from other games. So you kind of have that in Remember Me. and they do a pretty good job incorporating it in this game. Like I said, most everything here is done pretty well. I think this was sort of a freshman outing for this developer, at least on the level as far as, you know, getting a big budget. I don't want to call this game a AAA game. I think it was more of a AA game. Capcom probably gave them the money for this game to make it. I don't know if Capcom owns the rights to it, but I would love to see another version of this game. Now they're doing Tell Me Why. It's on Games Pass, and you can get it on the Microsoft Store. And I don't think you can. I don't. As far as PC is concerned, I think you can get it on the Epic Game Store. I don't know if it's on Steam yet. Obviously, Steam is very popular with most PC gamers, but this game is on Steam, and most of .NET's games are on Steam, and they're definitely worth picking up. Most of their, actually, a lot of the games are available on GOG. Like my version of Vampire, I got that on GOG, and that is definitely a game that you should check out. I mean, .NET, they do superb writing. They have good voice acting. They do immersive stories. I mean, great storytelling. It's definitely a game you should. Their games are definitely games that you should check out when you get the chance. If you like stories if you like good stories in your video games, if you like movie level stories in your games, then their games are very immersive. I did my videos on Vampire. I have them on my older sites, a BitChute, when I still used to had a BitChute. Now I don't. Now I mainly do on BitTube TV and obviously Odyssey, and of course YouTube.
The Leapers are attacking citizens.
Leapers were citizens.
All right. I'll believe you.
Come on, move it. Tommy's waiting for you at the Leaking Brain.
I know a lot of people are going to be comparing this AA indie game to a lot of the heavy hitters like Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding and all these other really heavy hitters that are out there right now. But this game stands up on its own right. Like I said, even though it's only a AA game, they did a really good job conveying the story. It just, everything about this game totally works, and it's definitely worth a spot in your collection. I know it's a single player game that most of you did play or most of you don't even know about, but definitely
They have become productive servants of society. The Reconversion Project by Memorize. Humane responses to barbaric perils. Citizens of Neo Paris. The Leaper threat has been addressed.
Cross the floating market to that warehouse. It's a shortcut to Tommy's bar.
If you want to check this game out, Remember Me by .NET and Capcom. Now with that, it brings us to the end of this 734 Games gameplay. And I enjoy bringing this stuff to you people, and I can't wait to bring more stuff to you guys. I'm going to bring some really cool, maybe some AAA or maybe something obscure. I don't know, I mean, if you want me to do something obscure, say so. If you want me to do something AAA, say so. But I enjoy bringing this cool stuff to you guys, and I hope you enjoy seeing games that you may not see from other places, or games you may see in other places. Like I said before, if you like my content, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, or give me the fire on Odyssey, or the arrow up on BitTube TV. And if you want to donate me a few cryptos on one of those other two sites that aren't YouTube, then go ahead and do that. But I hope you enjoy my content. This is your host Tom signing off from beautiful Goshenau County and 734 Games, where gaming is alive.